right, 2 minutes for Kelly.
Okay, you have to read the bill. You cannot stop people on the street and ask for their papers. You have to have already been stopped, say, because you were speeding or because you broke into a house. You have to be already in a detention or an arrest. And usually in those cases, anyways, you have to provide ID. Yes. And all they do is ask, do you have a valid Arizona license or an ID or any, there's a whole list of stuff they can provide. And if they do, automatically they are assumed to be legal and the cop can go no further. And it has to happen in the context of a detention or an already happening, occurring detention or arrest. It is absurd and ludicrous to assert that this bill that I have in front of me, that I read, and you should go print out and read yourself before you make accusations and assumptions about the people of Arizona or people being racist. You should read this and see that you cannot do that. And if an officer does do that, they will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law because it says this. Okay. Second, we are a nation of laws. Why does everybody want to come here? We've been talking about how bad America is with healthcare and all this stuff. Why do all these people want to come here then? Why is everybody trying to leave their homes and come here? My mother, she wrote to me and she said, I can remember, she lived in El Paso and she grew up in Alamogordo. And they used to go to Juarez all the time when she was a kid. And she says, I can remember the intense fear if one was stopped for any traffic infraction. The best way for an Americano to deal with it was to give the officer a bribe, la mordida, if you didn't want your car impounded permanently. We are a nation of laws, and when you step foot in here illegally, you are a criminal, and we want you here legally. Yep.
All right, 2 minutes back.
I have read I've read about the bill, and it.
You can take this home with you.
Okay, I'll be happy to. But my point is, I understand what you're saying, but I think my point still stands, which is, I accept that the government can't just. The law doesn't say they can just stop anyone. They have to have a practicable reason, is the exact language in the bill. But the reality is, police will stop people who they suspect of being an undocumented immigrant, and that's my point. I don't think what I'm saying is misrepresenting the bill. I mean, if I add that caveat, I think that's the problem with the bill, is that it empowers the Arizona police to if they have a practical reason, is the language, then they can just stop people and demand their birth certificate. That is the reality. That's the language of the law. You can't deny that. And I think it is hypocritical to say you're against big government, but then you say you do want more police checking of random individuals who they deem to be potentially an undocumented immigrant. And the history. You can read the bill. That's what it says. And the reality is there's a long history in this country of police suspecting people of racial minorities of being criminals, and it is going to ramp up more and more racist stops of Hispanic and Latino people. And I don't think that that's protecting freedom, which the Tea Party claims to defend. I do think what it does do is it adds to a situation where the big corporations can continue to benefit from all of this immigrant labor coming in the country, but instead of them having equal rights, which is what we advocate, Socialist Alternative advocates an immediate, full, unconditional amnesty to grant equal rights to all immigrants. And actually, President Reagan implemented an amnesty in 1986. We think the problem is U.S. corporations need to stop meddling in Latin America. U.S. government needs to stop meddling in Latin America and other countries and allow those countries to develop their own economies without U.S. corporate exploitation of those countries, so that the reason they're coming here is because they're impoverished and they have no other choice. My family immigrated here from Egypt for that reason. And
we should wrap up.
Okay, I'll stop there. Pardon me. Thank you.